Still high from his weekend at Burning Man, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but get on. You mandate you get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing the show. I run into a lot of you people out doing live shows. You listen. You get your sons and daughters and your wives and husbands into it. So God bless. All right, we'll get into some news in a bit. I got stuff I want to talk about at the top. I saw a news story over the weekend. Somebody tweeted it to me about a woman who bought a home, and in the basement there was a swastika in tile, laid out in tile. Now, I bought a house from, I think it was like 1923. No, 1927 in the Hollywood Hills. And it did have a swastika type emblem in mosaic tile, small tile, in the bathroom. It was a pattern. I mean, a pattern is sort of like a joke. You know, when you accuse someone of stealing a joke, I always bring this one up, you know, it's an old joke. But it's like when someone said, you want to build a wall between California and Mexico, who do you think's going to build that wall? Because Mexicans do all the block wall work in California. Now, you know, 1,000 comedians all thought of the same joke. So you can't go, oh, somebody stole that joke. You got to go, no, we're all human beings. And human beings sort of play by the same general set of rules. And if there was a kid named, let's just say there was a kid in any fifth grade class in the United States forever. Could go back 100 years, could go ahead 100 years. And his name was Bob Diarrhea. Then he would be named Bob Diarrhea by every human in his fifth grade and beyond. Everybody, all at the same time. Because how would that work? Well, nobody stole anyone's idea. That's just humans being humans. So the swastika is kind of humans being humans. And that's why it existed before Hitler, but then he got it and made it his symbol. And now, you know, you're kind of screwed. Like, I don't know, Epstein Island. It would be hard to open like a water park there, for instance. What happened to the...
I mean, what do you name it?
Well, that's the whole point, you know. Discount for the kids, you know. I mean, the point is it's got a name now. It's a hunk of land in an ocean, but it's got a name. All right, so the swastika's been taken over. But the story is great because a woman, and I mean, her name may be Karen. Her first name may be Karen, and her middle name may be Karen, too. Because she bought the house and then went into the basement and pulled a rug up and found this. And I'll just play the story, but I cannot tell you how much I hate this woman. And it seems weird because lots of people would side with this woman. I hate this woman. But it's really because she called it to the news agency's attention. But let's hear the story.
It's mine now, and I don't want it, but it's mine. I own it, which is horrific.
All right, hold on. She's talking about tile. So, I mean, yes, you own it, and if I left a poster in the bedroom that said, hang in there, baby, and it was a cat hanging off a branch with one paw, you would own it, but you could also get rid of it if you didn't like it. Or if I carved the N-word into, the banister upstairs, you could sand it out. Like, you do own it. She's doing ultra virtue signaling because she went downstairs to her basement and saw a tile that was in the shape of a swastika, and now she called a news organization to come over and then film her explaining to all of us how much better she is than we are. But go ahead.
Months of searching, Lynn Ray Wentworth and her husband were thrilled to find what they thought was their dream home.
We loved the historical nature of it and the fact that there's opportunity to update it and still keep that flair.
During the home inspections and walkthrough, they say everything seemed to be okay. and they ended up buying it in 2023. But months after moving in, Lynn Ray says she was in the basement with her nephew, working to clean up a few things left behind by the seller, and it wasn't until they removed a large rug and table that they found a very large problem.
I came down and I was like, there's something tiled into the floor here, and you take a step over here and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a swastika.
Nearly 6 feet.
All right, first off, they blurred out the swastika, which, okay, I don't know where we're at. I watch an 8-part documentary on the Dallas Cowboys, and it warns me that there's historical smoking going on, that I should be, seated properly in case somebody lights a Tiparillo during the course of this documentary. Like, we are fucking nuts with the coddling of everybody all the time. Everyone knows what a swastika looks like. Every World War II movie has them in it. But anyway, they had to blur it out. So it's dark. It's like a terracotta tile with a dark terracotta tile or satio tile. And the tiles are like 8x8 or 6x6, and somebody did the swastika in there. And when they pulled the carpet up, they found it. Now, what you can do if you like, you can get a chipping hammer and just pop the tiles out. The tiles will pop out with a chipping hammer. You rent one from Home Depot for $60 in a day, put the flathead tip on it, and just kind of chip them. Just pop them. If you don't like it, you could pop the ones that are the swastika and just replace them with other orange ones. And I've done a lot of swastika tile replacement in my day, and you don't have to get every tile out. You just pop a few and make a new pattern, like they do with tattoos. Like was it Pete Holmes? No, who had the tattoos that he got all redone? Pete Davidson. That's right. Pete Davidson had a bunch of, you get a tattoo with a Kardashian's name on your neck, and then you swap it up and you turn it into a zebra or something. That's what you do with swastika tiles. Or you can pop them all, or you can pop, I'll bet you I could get that thing out of swastika recognition with about 7 tiles.
Actually, you don't even need to buy tiles. You just move them and replace them. Just move, make it a square. Just create the design, take out a red tile, swap it for a brown tile, red tile, brown tile. You don't have to buy any tile. It's done.
I figure you need a couple. You might chip a few on the way out. But yeah, I get you. Or you can do a super easy way. Just get garage floor paint and just paint the whole fucking thing. It's the easiest thing. By the way, that basement is a shit box. It's not you and your husband with historical landmarks or anything. That thing's a shithole.
But if you do any of those things, how are you a hero?
Right. So it's easily taken care of. But anyway, she calls the news crew and they come out and roll on it. And then they have to, pardon the pun, tile out and blur out the swastika. And by the way, this is why I would be the worst news reporter ever, because I'd be standing around going, oh, wait, what are we doing here? Yeah, it's a swastika. Yeah. Get a gallon of paint and paint over it. What are we doing here? Yeah, but somebody left this. Yeah, I know. So just go ahead and do that. Hey, have you painted any room in this house? Yes, we painted the entry hall. Good. Remember that thing where you had that roller and that extender and that paintbrush? Yeah. Okay, go get it. Now, I'm going to go do a real story somewhere else.
Right. We do a local remodeling show on Saturday mornings. Yeah. Here's their producer's number.
Right. All right. So it continues.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
This is a swastika.
Nearly 6 feet in diameter, a swastika and what appears to be a German war eagle were discovered permanently tiled into the floor.
I was just shocked. Mortified.
The Wentworths hired attorney Daniel Stoner, who filed a lawsuit arguing the symbols were a material defect in the home that the seller failed to disclose.
We believe this is something that should have been disclosed to them from the start, and they should have been given the
You
option
attorney,
as to
of
whether or
course you
not this
believe
is something
that.
they would want to be in their home.
Stoner says the seller apparently installed the symbols in the floor himself back in the 70s and argued the swastika symbol was a popular design on greeting cards, soft drinks, and sports uniforms back in the 1920s.
The explanation that they gave basically is that the swastika is an ancient symbol that means many different things in many different cultures, and in most cultures it's a positive thing.
In court paperwork, the seller's attorney also.
There's court paperwork. The bitch could have rolled up the carpet, seen it, and lived with it. Because I don't think it makes you a Nazi sympathizer to have that in your basement, number one. Number two, popped out a few tiles and or just painted it. It looks like shit anyway. The whole basement floor looks like shit. Get a couple gallons of tile paint or get garage floor paint. I would etch it first. I would get some TSP, some trisodium phosphate, and I would clean it real good. Don't just paint it like that. Clean it, scrub it. TSP, prep it, dry it, and then just roll it on with the foam roller. All right. Sorry, we'll keep it going.
Positive thing.
In court paperwork, the seller's attorney also argues the Wentworths had full access to the home prior to buying and could have moved the table and rug at any time to discover what was underneath.
They're claiming basically that this is just a cosmetic.
Well, hold
feature
on a second. I don't want to side with this bitch, but if there was a table and a rug, I don't think it's incumbent on the buyer to move the table, move the rug. Like, if there was a porthole to hell and I kept it under a throw rug with a table on it, I don't think you'd have to move. Like, I don't think when people come over to look at your house, they start moving furniture and rolling up rugs like that scene in American Sniper. You know what I mean? They keep pulling up those rugs till they find the cache of rifles back there. So, yeah, they could have moved the table and they could have moved the rug.
I think the only expectation is that it is uniform throughout. When you see it looks like this here, it looks like that here. So, yeah, I think he's wrong.
All right, good.
Basically, that this is just a cosmetic feature of the house.
Well, that's
true. It doesn't
true.
constitute a defect.
No, that's true.
And therefore, they didn't have to disclose that to them. That is their position.
But the Wentworths disagree, saying they may not have purchased the home had they known.
Oh,
This is
shut
our
the
home.
fuck
This
up.
is where we live. This is where we have family.
All right, hold on. I love it. I love the women. I love the woman where they go, you come into my home. And there's always a breath. There's a pant. You come. Now, look, they always do this thing. You bump into me at a Starbucks. I'll say, excuse me. You take my parking space at the Target. That's fine. But you come into my home in front of my child. And then this is where the preachy shit begins. Now, also, bitch, you can go to Pier 1 and buy a throw rug 2 if you want and just throw it over the swastika, 6x6.
Apparently she needs 2 of them. She missed the War Eagle, by the way.
The War Eagle is on the hood of every Pontiac Trans Am built in the 70s, so that's bullshit. But all right. All right, we're going to back it up because I like when she talks about her home. Her fucking... Can you imagine her poor fucking henpecked, pussy-whipped husband? And we may have not... Could you imagine finding a home you really liked and then your Yenta wife was like, there's tiles in a certain shape. I'd be like, shut up, bitch. You're not paying for it. Or I'll tell you what. You can go down and paint it the day the fucking mortgage closes. How about that? Well, I'll tell you what. See if you can refrain from inviting any of your Jewish friends over for a basement party until we get this taken care of. Oh, that's right. You don't have Jewish friends or black friends. So shut the fuck up. But all right, let's hear it.
Constitute a defect. And therefore, they didn't have to disclose that to them. That is their position.
But the Wentworths disagree, saying they may not have purchased the home had they known.
This is our home. This is where we live. This is where we have family. We weren't able to make an informed decision about a huge purchase in our lives. We were denied that opportunity simply because...
Hold on a second. This is what all the dumb yans... By the way, I just went through this with COVID with all these dumb bitches arguing about nothing. Yes, purchasing a home is a big decision in most families' lives. That is true. The tile in the basement doesn't affect that decision. So I get it. It's a big decision, but there's no repercussions to having tile in your basement. So that's the part where the argument falls apart. Yes, buying a home's a big thing, but this has nothing to do with that. All right, but let's listen. Oh, God, I hate her so much.
We were denied that opportunity simply because somebody couldn't take 5 seconds to say, hey, take a look at the basement floor. There's some symbols down there.
They say they believe the seller intentionally hid the symbols, knowing it could be a problem.
I mean, why would they have kept the rug when they were cleaning out? Why would you set a table right smack dab over something unless...
All right, hold on a second. Why would you put a table on a rug? I don't know. We should ask everyone in America who has a rug with a table on it why they would do that.
Well, the curious and really true thing is why would you put a table and a rug over a swastika to sell a house?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. There's that. But I'm also willing to sign off on somebody putting a table in the middle of a large space and a rug in the middle of a large space, because it wouldn't make sense to take the table and shove it into the corner where you couldn't get any chairs around it. But anyway.
Well, I guess furniture was included, and I wonder if then the terms it was, as is, you take everything in the house.
She's doing some super sleuthing. They're on minute 7 of this news report. Meanwhile, 7 kids have been abducted in the area during this time. But all right, here we go.
Table right smack dab over something unless you were hiding it.
Stoner says this case is the first of its kind in Pennsylvania and says the Wentworths want to see the law changed, making it a crime to not disclose permanently installed hate symbols in a home.
Do what you want in your house. Paint it purple with green polka dots. That's great. But don't pass your potential hate onto me. Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
The Wentworths.
Hold on a second. I think part of it is I hate high self-esteem. And this is a supreme narcissist, this woman, like on to me. Like they're not passing it on to you. The guy got drunk in 1974. He probably saw the Guns of Navarone or something at the movie theater, came home buzzed, and did a fucking tile job.
Well, no, I believe this house was built in the 1920s, wasn't it?
He admitted to doing the tile job in 1972 or something. That's, come on, Dawson, what do you think? You think I think that way?
No,
Yeah, he said he did it in the 1970s. And he also said, see, this guy's a little wanky too, because he goes, I did it in the 1970s. It was a popular symbol that was on soda cans and cracker boxes in the 20s. Right. Yeah. I don't know if, did anything happen between 1923 and 1973? Let's see. The Korean conflict? No. See, the sinking of the Lusitania? Oh, yeah, World War II and the rise of Nazis and Adolf Hitler and 6 million Jews exterminated. So he kind of...
Shit, it was 20 years ago. No one's going to remember.
He was kind of conflating a few things himself. Doesn't not make her a Yenta complaining bitch, but she's very upset. So anyway, open phone. Look, if you're running a business and you let a call slip through the cracks, you might as well just hand your wallet to the next guy. Every time you miss a ring, that's cash walking out the door. You need a phone system that actually works as hard as you do, keeps you up and in the loop, day or night. That's why. You got to get Open Phone. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system that streamlines and scales your customer communication. So whether you're a one-person operation, drowning in calls and texts, or have a large team that needs better collaboration tools, Open Phone is a no-brainer. It's Open Phone, right, Dawson?
Open Phone is offering our listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/Adam. That's OPENPHONE.com/Adam. And if you have existing numbers with another service, Open Phone will port them over at no extra charge. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road, everyone. O'Reilly Auto Parts offers friendly, helpful service and the parts, knowledge, and experience that you need to maintain and repair your vehicle. Always go to O'Reilly. They're all over the place out here. I don't know if there's one on every corner where you're from, but out here, I got my pick of the litter. Always use it to prep the race car. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, they are friendly. So it's easy. You can just stop by on O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us online at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
The Wentworths compare this situation to this, when Beaverboro police acted swiftly to remove and condemn swastikas spray painted on a building earlier this year.
Well, hold on. That's at a heavily traveled intersection. Like, how much foot traffic and car traffic goes by your basement floor every day, bitch? You're the only one. No one would ever know it was there or ever needed to know it was there.
Good thing it's a swastika, not a crosswalk.
That's right. All right. Sorry. Continue.
It's going to be removed as soon as possible, right? Nobody was saying, hey, this is okay. This isn't a material defect. The response was, as it should have been, let's get this out of here. Let's remove it. This is an inappropriate symbol.
Stoner has now made an appeal and made arguments in front of the Superior Court and is waiting for an
I do
opinion.
Love when people do that. They go, nobody ever said this is a good thing to have a swastika at a crowded intersection. Okay. They got rid of it because of first off, they would the phone lines would have lit up because they'd get 2,000 phone calls for people passing it in their cars every day. But no one would have known about this in your basement. So it's a completely different thing.
Narcissists don't understand nuance.
You know what I'd say to her? I'd go, listen, he won't say anything to you, but I happen to know that your put-upon, long-suffering husband is a chronic masturbator. Now, if he goes and does that in the basement, which I'm sure he has. He calls it christening the house. He could do that in perpetuity without anyone ever calling the cops or notifying the authorities. But if he goes to the well-traveled intersection and whips out his dong and does the same activity he does in your basement, then there's going to be a problem. That's about the same thing with the swastika. But anyway, go ahead.
In the next few months.
I hope the Pennsylvania judiciary sees the fact that this isn't just a real estate case about a potential material defect. This is also a case about how we accept or how we stand up to hate when it comes to symbols like this.
Caveat emptor, buyer beware. It's a phrase house hunters have to get familiar with and a risk they accept when it comes to buying a house in Pennsylvania.
All right, pause it there. Play my Family Guy, Tricia Takahani's news reporter once, because I was listening to this bitch, and then I was picturing the Family Guy's news report. Listen to the voice. Let's see if we can get some A and B voice. Do your magic, Dawson. But let's listen to the Family Guy, if you can figure it out.
Now let's go to Asian reporter Tricia Takanawa so we can be shocked at how well her people age. Tricia?
Tom, I'm standing here with flawless skin next to the shedding, crumbling, dusty, ancient relics of white people my age.
All right, I'm going to try that because when I was hearing the news reporter, that's what I was hearing. Well, I'll give you a minute to put that together.
It's going to take a few minutes, but yeah.
Andrew, that's what we got to do. We got to have an A and a B when we do these things. All right, so that's what they're up to. She went and found the news to sit down for a 7-minute piece so she could look like a hero because she's standing up against hate. I get confused. There's a Jake Tapper Minneapolis shooter thing out there that Andrew can find, and I wanted to play it because I'm telling you the problem. I have a problem. Maybe I have a learning disability or something, but all the pronouns and all the she and the he and the thems, there's a big problem. The problem is the way they do the story. Like I said, when they go, she went into the Denny's. She pulled out her penis and attempted to rape the 8-year-old. They, and it's like she and they, it's one person and it's a dude. So it's super, super confusing. And what they need to do is when somebody transitions, you can't transition from a female to a female. You transition from a male to a female or from a female to a male. So when they go, she transitioned into becoming a female. I know they're doing the she thing because they're pussy whipped and they're broken and they're soft and they're scared, but say he transitioned. I'll play the clip and you guys listen to retard Jake Tapper. They try to be respectful, but it gets super confusing because a caterpillar can transition into being a butterfly, but a butterfly can't transition into being a butterfly. A butterfly is a butterfly. I'll play the clip. You'll hear what I'm saying.
Another piece of the puzzle as to who the shooter was. The Minneapolis Star Tribune says, according to court records, because there's been some confusion about what the shooter's name was.
Yes.
Robin Westman's mother applied to change her child's name in 2019. It was at one point Robert Paul Westman.
Correct.
But since she identifies as a female and wants her name to reflect that identification, was underage. It's now Robin.
Oh, okay.
West, another piece.
She identifies as a female. All females identify as females. They're females. Like all donkeys identify as donkeys. It's he identifies as being a female. You fucking idiot. You're making it so fucking confusing. I know you have to be super, super respectful to the person that slaughtered the kids. I know your number one job is not being disrespectful to the maniac who slaughtered the kids. I know that's your number one goal, but she, let me hear it again. Again, I watch like a normal human being and going, wait a minute, she identifies as a she? You're butchering the human language. Rachel Dolezal was a white chick who identified as a black person. But Denzel Washington doesn't need to identify as a black person because he is a black person. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Another piece of the puzzle as to who the shooter was. The Minneapolis Star Tribune says, according to court records, because there's been some confusion about what the shooter's name was.
Yes.
Robin Westman's mother applied to change her child's name in 2019. It was at one point Robert Paul Westman.
Correct.
But since she identifies as a female and wants her name to reflect that identification, was underage. It's now Robin.
All right. So she identifies as a female. Is a sentence that no one ever thought anyone would ever say into a fucking camera. But he, with his cock and balls, identifies as a female, which is fine. I mean, you can identify as a unicorn, I guess, if you want, but you're not a unicorn. But then a unicorn doesn't have to identify as a unicorn. So when you identify, she is dead at this point. She's the past tense. They no longer exist. All right. So he identifies as a female. And you can be respectful and call Robert Robin or do whatever you want, but it's still a dude identifying as a chick. It's not a chick identifying as a chick, you fucking idiots. I can't keep track of all this shit. But I do like the fact that the number one priority for the mayor of Minneapolis is to make sure that we didn't take this out on the trans community and that everyone called her or him by their proper first names. It's fucking nuts. The second somebody floated pronouns, we should have told them all to fuck off. We had so many, everyone should have joined me in telling everyone to fuck off all the time over the last 4 years, but nobody would. You all just went along with this shit. All right. We have Dawson may be in this mix-up there.
Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, I got a clip to play anyway. I got a clip from my latest vlog where I went out to Home Depot. People seem to enjoy this. It's kind of like the Carson Daly swimming pool within a swimming pool, so the water wouldn't leach into the groundwater system, except for the whole place went up in flames and everything got liquefied and dumped into the bay. Anyway, this is sort of along with that, but as it pertains to treated lumber, I'll play you this little snippet. You can go to adamcarolla.com and check out all the vlogs if you like. I was doing some work at my place in Malibu. I went to the lumber store, Malibu Lumber. I needed like a 2x4 pressure treated. So the guy goes, you know, we can't cut that in the back. We're in Malibu, outdoors. The saw's outside. I go, okay, yeah, I don't need a cut. I got a truck, but why can't you cut it? He goes, well, it's pressure treated. It's got chemicals, California, City of Malibu, EPA. 2 weeks later, whole place burns to the ground. The whole place, everything. Everything, every futon, every mattress, every Range Rover, every house with pressure-treated lumber, all burnt, all in the ocean. But 3 weeks earlier, we cannot endanger the porpoises by someone using a radial arm saw and cutting a piece of pressure-treated lumber in half, which, by the way, in any other state, there is no law. I was doing some... Yeah, always use pressure-treated when you put it against concrete. Now, you think about pressure-treated like on the ground. Like, all right, you're going to build a shed, you're going to put it down on a slab, and you're going to put the concrete, put on top of the concrete. But I wasn't doing that. I was putting up a big garage shelf, but my garage has poured in place concrete walls.
Where were the swastikas?
Oh, I formed them out of the pieces of pressure-treated lumber that I'd cut. As I just did temporarily on my garage floor, and then this blonde-haired bitch comes storming in. She was pissed off. She brought a news crew with her. Yeah, if you're going to put... So I had concrete walls, and the concrete wall is still concrete, and you shouldn't put anything that is not pressure-treated against concrete. So it's got chemicals in it, and they're worried about the chemicals. All right, do we have that mix-up? Let's see if we can tell. This is... the news announcer from that story with the tile and the news announcer from the Family Guy.
Tom, I'm standing here with flawless skin next to the shedding, crumbling, dusty, ancient relics of white people my age.
After months of searching, Lynn Ray Wentworth and her husband were thrilled to find what they thought was their dream home.
Yeah.
That they thought were her dream. By the way,
yeah, it's definitely there.
I love it when they do. They thought it was their dream home, but then they went downstairs and some 6x6 terracotta tile turned out to be positioned in something that made a different shape.
Is that a symptom of chick think?
That's a lot of chick
think.
That
ruin everything?
This whole... Look.
I will not step foot in that basement.
Well, okay. Riddle me this, everyone. In this story... they highlight, here's why I should be a lawyer. In this story, they highlight as an example, her side, her lawyer highlights that they painted a swastika on the side of the old Johnson farmhouse by the intersection over there, and it was so offensive that they immediately painted over it. Why did they immediately paint over it? So on and so forth. Okay, so that's their example that they're making. Okay, here's my example. They didn't tear down the fucking structure. They painted over it, and it was gone. So you can paint over yours, and it will be gone the same way they painted over theirs, and it was gone. They didn't tear the siding down. You could argue, well, it'll always be there. Yes, under 3 coats of Sears Easy Living. But it will be there.
That would solve the problem.
That would solve the problem. Oh,
that's not what they want.
I'm just picturing...
she wants TV time.
I was picturing this bitch during COVID. Could you imagine you walking your dog with no mask on and her...
Excuse me?
No, sorry, Dawson. Not excuse me. Excuse you. It's excuse you.
Right.
Not me. All right. Elisha Krauss going to come in here. I want to hear that one more time, the announcer and the announcer. I think it gets really close at the end of the Channel 7's announcer. We'll play it.
Tom, I'm standing here with flawless skin next to the shedding, crumbling, dusty, ancient relics of white people my age.
After months of searching, Lynn Ray Wentworth and her husband were thrilled to find what they thought was their dream home.
The cadence is almost identical.
All right.
No one else would find this, by the way.
But me?
But you.
I can't. My brain works in such a weird way. This was on my phone in 2 inches by 2 inches with no stereo sound. I didn't have earbuds or anything. I was just looking at it. Somebody tweeted me. And within 15 seconds, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right. Quick break. Elisha Krauss going to come in here. We'll do the news right after this. Homes.com, some might say Homes.com, is the best home shopping site. It may be Homes.com's super comprehensive and transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. Homes.com. That is Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This September, CBS hits are streaming free on Pluto TV.
I'm coming in hot.
For this month only, stream full episodes of Matlock.
I'm a lawyer, like the old TV show.
Fire Country, Elsbeth.
I do love a mystery.
NCIS Origins, Watson, and Ghosts.
What the hell?
This is the most amazing sight I've never seen.
All for free. The CBS shows you love, this month only on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show.
Dateline, Dunedin, Florida. A 41-year-old woman was arrested for domestic battery after attempting to hit her boyfriend with a watermelon.
Definitely not a Jew.
Elisha Krauss in studio. She's got her op-ed for the Washington Examiner. Newsmakers every week. What's the subject this week, Elisha?
Oh, this week it's going to be about the transgender neighborhood in San Francisco.
Are they going to start one?
They have. They've announced it. There's a whole video from a councilman and everything.
Let me tell you something. It's like when you do your Wakanda thing where you go, we're going to start an all-black place or an all-everything place doesn't work unless it's Asian. That'll work. Japanese, that works. Everything else turns into a shit show.
My favorite thing about the Wakanda stuff is when Black Panther came out, which I do love. It's a great movie in the Marvel Universe, in my opinion. But the Google searches for vacations in Wakanda.
Oh, really?
It was amazing.
Oh, there will be a theme on a Carnival cruise soon.
Really?
I think.
You think?
I think that's where they're heading.
Wow.
The Wakanda cruise.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the transgender neighborhood.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Does it exist?
It does exist. Like, there's like a whole social media post about it. I got to do a little bit of deep dive before I write about it today.
Oh, I can't believe it.
But I saw the Instagram post. Kudos to my husband. He sends me all these silly reels all the time. I think half of our relationship is Instagram DMs, of, like reels that we send back and forth. And he was like, is this for real? And I looked it up and it definitely is for real.
There is, huh? I don't think it's going to work, but okay.
I don't even know what it means.
I don't know what it means.
Like, what does a transgender neighborhood mean? Like, are only transgender people allowed there? If I go there, do I instantly become a man? If you go, do you become a woman? Like, what does it mean?
I don't know. It's mostly a mental disorder, this whole transgender shit, and we prop it up, and it's insane, and we're fucking kids up. But other than that,
you know, there's a village for dwarves in Long Beach, right?
I thought you were going to say
Is it
in
like
New Zealand,
that?
like Hobbitland? Really?
Yeah, there is a
village.
Yeah, like their own town.
For dwarves.
Yeah, for
But are you not allowed there because you're not a...
No, I think you're allowed there, but I think people go there for the spectacle of it.
I went down to Long Beach, and I didn't even know I was in the Dwarfs Village, and I just went to go enjoy the beach, and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and I was tied down. And I was like, what the fuck is going on around here? Well, as it turns out, I was at the Dwarf Village, and the Lilliputians.
That's it.
Okay.
I remember being terrified of that book when I was a kid.
The Gulliver's Travels?
Yeah.
All things when you were a kid were big and terrifying and
scary.
weird and
Yeah.
scared. Now kids are looking at weird German porn and stuff on their phone, and it's all a disaster.
By like 11. Do you know that? On average,
On
by
average.
11?
What? So
Horrifying.
see if you can confirm this Long Beach.
It's right here.
Midget Town in Long Beach refers to the urban
legend.
Urban legend surrounding. The urban legend surrounding the La Linda Drive neighborhood, which is rumored to have built for little people after the movie Wizard of Oz. Well, there is no truth to the legend.
There you go. I'm Gullible's Travels.
It is suspiciously home to the largest per capita venues for miniature golf.
Really?
Yes.
Or as they call it, golf.
They just call it golf.
Right.
It's 18 championship holes to them.
Do you like mini golf or golf?
Miniature golf is fun with kids, and it's also like good first datey stuff
because it's not
static where you're sitting in a movie theater, you're sort of moving around. You can have fun a little bit.
You can
with
chit chat. You can see, do I want this woman to have my children? Like, is she ambidextrous
Check
or
her
not?
form.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then at some point
you can help her.
Some point she beats you, and you get super angry and storm out of the date.
It's a good opportunity for the man and the woman to figure out like personality, competitive nature.
I never thought about this, but the miniature golf always has the batting cage attached to it out here.
Yeah, like at Castle Park.
I think that's there for when the dude gets beat in miniature golf. He can be like, "Hey, let's hit the cages on the way out, okay, hon?" And she's like, "I've never played, but that's right." And I played JC ball.
Yeah, some
for
of them
3
also have
years at Pierce. So give me that fucking bat.
Some of them also have the slick track or go karts. It's like, all right,
we need
you won this
something.
one. Let's see how you drive.
Because any woman can beat any guy in miniature golf on any given Saturday. That's a given, but we're going to beat him in the batting cage.
That's
for us.
A good psychological idea for a first date too, because then as a dude, you're like trying to make the woman feel confident in herself and like, right?
Oh,
Like
by letting her win?
By not letting her win, but if you're saying that the average woman could probably beat dudes in mini golf, then it's like
I think there is no real
like
advantage.
I'm gonna make her feel good about herself, and if she feels better about herself, then she might feel better about me. There's a psychology there.
You know, men win in golf because they drive the ball 65 yards further.
Yeah.
You know, but this is not that. Also, I think women, when it comes to miniature golf, may win at a even percentage or even higher because whereas the guy, he's like, I'm going to go for that center flume that's only 5 inches wide. I think I can catch it. Where the women go conservative. I'm just going to hit it into the side one and it's going to go down. And the guy goes for it and he does it 3 times and it comes back to him because he's going for it. You know what I mean?
My 12-year-old can beat my dad and my brother-in-law at golf because she's better at chipping and putting.
Oh, really?
To your point.
Regular golf?
Yeah.
All right.
Like out on 18 holes at DeBell or something.
My idea of a first date is go out and play miniature golf.
Yep.
She wins at miniature golf. We go by the cage. I smack a few around in there, let her know who the alpha is in the relationship, and then it's back to the car.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get her in the windmill for a little action.
Try to
at
get
one
her in the
point.
windmill for a little action.
Yeah.
I worked at a mini golf like go-kart place in high school. It was called Gopher. Like, but Gopher. A golf and Gopher a spin.
That's kind of cute.
It was clever.
What'd you do there?
I like kind of managed it because the owner was this old lady that was like, "You take over. I'm gonna go have some smokes."
High school job.
It was awesome.
Homeschool job.
It was awesome. And I think that she liked me because I could work all hours because I was homeschooled.
I was thinking about the other day. I was thrown off a go-kart track I was also thrown off.
A little too wild.
I got thrown off a driving range, a golf driving range as well.
Why?
The guy just said, if you shank another one into the tennis court, you got to leave. And he stood there and he watched me shank the next one into the tennis court. And I didn't even talk to him. I just shanked it. He watched it. I watched it. And I just started leaving.
Was it a walk of shame?
Yeah, because people in the tennis court, I rented the club. That's how good a player I was. So I just gave him the club back and left. And I also realized Jimmy Kimmel has had air freshener sprayed at him in his face for farting up a bus and for farting up an airplane.
Okay.
But he's never done a train. And my thing is like, Jimmy, if you could fart up an Amtrak to the point where the steward got hold of the can and sprayed it at him, he got sprayed with air freshener.
I know you're going to circle back, but I don't know how this applies to getting kicked out of. Oh, you're talking about getting kicked out of places.
It's sort of like having your hands registered with the state of Nevada or something. You know what I mean? Like the feather in your cap.
Yeah.
If he could get someone to spray him down on a train with air freshener, he would do a train, a bus, and a plane.
That's the EGOT.
That's the EGOT. That's the hat trick. No one. I would argue, I don't think you're ever going to meet another person that actually had the EGOT in the air freshener farting up the space.
Yep.
Most Americans barely have one.
That's either the back sleeve or the introduction to the bio, but he has better chances of getting booted off a train if he goes business class surfliner.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Business
Gotta
class,
go bougie.
first liner, farted up.
Yeah.
And again, the person will go get the spray and spray it at you.
That's like pepper spray quality.
Yeah,
that's like
you're essentially a cockroach at this point, and that's Ray. Like that's the same theory. There's a punitive part of it. They don't go over the shoulder into the atmosphere. They go at the problem.
He's got to finish that. That's an empty feeling.
I've told him. He's like, I'm hosting a late night show. I'm like, blah blah blah.
He could go incognito, and then just GoPro it for like you. And then nobody else would know.
I'll take his word for it. I was there for the
You're
plane.
a good friend. You wouldn't leak it to TMZ or anything.
Nah. I was there for the plane. I was there for the bus.
Oh, so he needs to take you.
Kinda.
Maybe you're his good luck charm.
Well, I'm an observer. When you try to set a record, you have the guy from Guinness Book of World Records. Exactly. You fly them out. They observe. So you need somebody on that train.
Would you tell the Guinness Book of World Records after he...
I don't know how many categories they have, but I would say it's one thing to fart up a plane and to fart up a bus. And many have done this. But how many of us have actually got a can of Airwick Wizard sprayed in our face?
Like they knew it was him?
He was maced with air freshener.
Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. I would be mortified.
Well, we were impressed, but okay.
Difference between men and women right there.
Yeah, that's the homeschooling.
Well,
all right, what do we got?
Well, Ilhan Omar.
Oh, yeah.
One of my
She's a delight.
One of my least favorite
Can
Congress
we at least
people.
just admit these bitches hate this country? Can we, listen,
know.
I grew up with this. I grew up with my mom. My mom would be like, first off, no one actually says, I hate this country. They just go, this is a great country. It's the greatest country on earth. But you have to realize the horrors of slavery and the Bataan Death March and the Trail of Tears. And it's like, do you love this country, bitch?
Well, see, Ilhan Omar won't even say that.
She won't even say
She won't even say this is a great country.
Once in a while they do, they go, this is a great country, and that's why we have to do this, and we're not doing any of it.
Yeah, so Ilhan Omar would say, this is a great country, that's why we can't fund the Jews or something.
She's horrible. She's the worst, especially since we saved her from her piece of shit country. But all right.
No,
I
forget
hate
that.
It.
Forget about that. And now we've made her a millionaire.
Oh, really?
Apparently she's always denied and said that she is not a millionaire, quote, saying, I am not a millionaire. But the Washington Free Beacon and some other outlets, but the Free Beacon was the first to it, found a 2025 disclosure. And she and her husband, so Tim has a couple of different businesses.
She and her husband or she and her brother?
This is her husband.
Oh, but she married. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So they've had a really good year.
Sing-songy too. Oh, she sounds like that reporter as well. She goes up. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
So but as a congresswoman, she makes $175,000 a year.
All right.
By the way, the Roberts Rules of Order says that whether you're a man or a woman, you're supposed to be called like congressman. There's no but I don't know. This day and age, I'm just going to say congresswoman. She makes $175,000 a year, but her husband's net worth is now ranging, or their joint net worth is now ranging from $6 million to upwards of $30 million. Yeah. It's because of a couple of companies that he owns. One is a VC firm, and another one is a winery right here in California.
Well, what I've learned from Bernie Sanders is if you notice, once everyone did the math on Bernie Sanders, like, hey, you got 3 homes and you are a millionaire and all you do is rail against, he swapped out. They all swapped out millionaire for billionaire like the last 9 months. So they are millionaires. So again, you can't complain about millionaires if you're a millionaire. So you just swap it out to billionaire.
He also stopped talking about private planes because he and AOC, when they were doing their whole socialism marches around the country, including here in LA,
stop the oligarchy.
They're going to stop the oligarchy, but they flew private.
Can I tell you something? If I was in the room when you're pitching me, like, what's the name of this tour going to be? Stop the oligarchy. I was going to be like, you know what? If I was in the room when UPS pitched What Can Brown Do For You, I would have done the exact same thing I'm about to do now. Bad idea.
Yep.
Don't fucking do it.
Yep.
No one knows what oligarchy is.
Yep.
No one can spell oligarchy. Old man, you can't say oligarchy. And that's not it. If you want to go the Fair's Fair tour or Rich Pay Their Fair Share tour or something, or the middle class tour or something. Yeah. But stop the oligarchy is not a good thing to put on a sign.
You have to explain it. They all went to public school, so they don't understand it.
Right.
It's a lot.
Right. All right. So she's rich and
she's rich and she's saying she's not rich.
Can it go any other way?
I mean, like every congressperson I'm aware of is like pretty well off.
Yeah.
Like $175,000 in a lot of the country is good money.
Yeah, but it's not enough to have. How does your net worth get to be $96 million off $180,000? I'm talking about. Well, there's like Nancy Pelosi and all these people.
Well, that's the insider trading.
Right. Okay. I just look at. Here's what I'm saying. I have plenty of rich friends, and it turns out rich people are better than poor people, much better. I grew up with poor people. They're fucking horrible. They're horrible. There's a reason they're poor.
I like my favorite kind of rich person, though, is the kind of rich person that started poor and then built it themselves. Yeah, not the daddy gave it to them.
All the rich people I know are that way. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm glad they're rich. I'm rich. It's good. It's a good thing. And I don't begrudge anyone being rich. What I hate is when people do the poor talk who are rich.
Yes.
That's the problem. The problem with the Nancy Pelosi's of the world is you never stop talking about the little man, and then you go out to the hair salon and get your hair colored during COVID, and you have a walk-in refrigerator with your fucking husband who drives a Porsche and is worth $300 million. That's the part I don't like.
And live on Billionaires Row in San Francisco.
Right. If you want to just be rich and fucking... And by the way, tip of the cap to anyone who ever goes, hey, bitch, I work hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I worked. Dawson, what'd we do last weekend? Okay. What did Adam Carolla do last weekend? He worked. What's Adam Carolla do this next weekend? Worked. What's Adam Carolla do the weekend after that? Worked. What's he do the weekend after that? Worked. Okay. I work weekends. I'm rich. But if you just go, hey, I fucking have 3 jobs and I work most Saturdays out of the year, then good for you.
Yeah.
Just don't give me a fucking speech about loving all the poor people and everything and being rich. Just go fucking get rich. It's fine. And say I work hard.
Ilhan Omar, yeah. It's like her being a millionaire the problem? No.
No,
her
she has to
lying
pretend.
about
She has to pretend.
Her lying about not being a millionaire is the problem.
This is the best. I don't know if you can find it anywhere, Dawson. The best one. I don't know if you can find this or Andrew can find this, but there's a clip we used to have. I used to play it all the time. Or once in a while, I would play it. It is Michael Moore on Howard Stern. Remember I would play that clip? Howard Stern, who's also rich, likes to obsess about what other people are getting paid. I mean, he's like, how much you get paid? How much you get paid for that? Whatever. And Stern will never talk about how much he gets paid, but he gets paid more than all of them. But all right.
We played this on the radio show.
We played on the radio. So Michael Moore, his net worth at the time was $50 million, right?
Making a shitty documentary.
Lots of them. But Michael Moore... See, everyone understand this. Michael Moore is the aw shucks blue-collar guy from Flint, Michigan, who's always fighting for the people.
Yeah.
Right. So he can't walk around with a $50 million worth of net worth because he's the poor guys fighting for people.
Yeah.
Michael Moore dresses like an out-of-work lesbian trucker for a reason, because he has a poor person costume.
Yes.
He takes a crumpled up hat and he puts it on.
Yeah.
He wears a stinky T-shirt.
It has like even the gross like sweat stains whenever he's on MSNBC and he's wearing the gross hat that needs to get washed.
He goes on Bill Maher wearing a T-shirt and a fucked up trucker's hat because it's a costume.
Yeah.
A poor person's costume, and every day's Halloween to that guy because he's living
He's
a lie.
cosplaying.
Right. Now, poor people, if a poor person was going to be a guest on Bill Maher's show, they would get a suit to wear for Bill Maher's show. But not Michael Moore, who's a rich person who dresses like an out-of-work lesbian trucker.
Yeah.
So he was on Stern once a million years ago, and Stern was going, how much do you have?
Yeah.
And Michael Moore can't go, I got millions.
Yeah.
Because he's playing a role. Because he wants you to believe that he is this person.
He wanted, at time, he probably wanted them to believe he's better than like the Cheneys and the Bushes and like all the warmongers and like military industrial complex.
Rich people are bad, poor people are good, and
Yeah.
he's a poor person, he's good, and he fights for poor people. Think Ellen dancing at the beginning of her show, or Rosie O'Donnell, their cutie patootie chub club, or Bill Cosby dancing at the beginning of his show.
Oh, God.
They're trying to get you to think of them as a certain way. So Stern keeps saying to him, well, what's your net worth? He's like, oh, I don't know. And he goes, well, Stern goes, you're a millionaire, right? And he goes, no. He goes, well, how can you not be a millionaire? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, well, look, you made Bowling for Columbine or whatever it was. The movie cost $2 million to make, and it grossed $86 million. So how are you not?
Who made that money?
How are you not rich? You made 5 of those.
Did you redistribute it to the rest of the crew?
And he's like, well, I don't know. I don't think I could be. By the way, you make films. You know what the gross is and what they cost and the budget and everything else.
How well it did.
Yeah, I mean, and he's had docs that were like, probably under $2 million to make that made $50 million. So there's going to be some cheese heading his way. And he did the because he's a liar. And then he goes, he goes, but so Stern does what Stern does. It's funny. He goes, but you are a millionaire, right? Well, I don't want to, because that's a horrible title to call fake poor guy, right? Who's playing a role. So he goes, I don't know. And then Stern goes, oh, wait a second. You have $1 million. And he goes, maybe with the house.
Stop.
I swear to God, because he's lying just like all these fucking people lie because they're scared you're going to find out who they really are.
Everybody in LA is a millionaire because every house in LA is $1 million.
Right.
Andrew is currently looking for that. In the meantime, I added Ilhan Omar to the Family Guy news lady. So let's see.
Let's see.
Tom, I'm standing here with flawless skin next to the shedding, crumbling, dusty, ancient relics of white people my age.
After months of searching, Lynn Ray Wentworth and her husband were thrilled to find what they thought was their dream home.
But this is not the moment to point fingers at people. It is time for us to come together and figure out what the actual solutions are so that there are no more dead angels in our communities.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty close.
The cadence is there.
Anyway, I think I may hate her the most. And I hate her the most because we saved her life, and she comes here and she hates this place.
And talks about how awful we all are.
Yeah, in Minneapolis, good fucking luck over there with the Somalis. Have fun. Make sure you kowtow and placate. Make sure you get a lot of them.
Yeah.
And you dance and you dance and you dance.
What was that, in Ann Arbor? Is that one of the places over the weekend? Labor Day weekend decided to have like a pro-terrorist rally.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of that. Listen, it's a huge mistake. Anyone who does is going to be fucked. Europe's fucked already. Good luck to you.
Should we stay on politics for a moment?
All right.
Talk about other people we don't like in politics, like old guys.
Mm.
Do we have this video of Jerry Nadler? So Jerry Nadler, he's been in office since 1977.
Jesus Christ.
11 years before I was born.
Wow.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. There's a great clip. That's that Jerry Nadler clip where they ask him about Antifa. And it's like, that doesn't really exist. Was that Antifa?
Yeah,
Can't remember which
I know.
was.
I think it was. It was like during. Look at this. He's not. You can't even see him.
He's shorter than the podium. He used to be wider than he was tall.
Yeah, he's lost some weight. Maybe he went on Ozempic.
I think so. He's full of retarded ideas. This guy. Yes.
People are wearing masks and are totally unidentified. And the question is why?
Why?
The question is why. It's completely improper. And again, one has to assume they're hiding something or they're hiding misbehavior because otherwise, why would they be wearing masks and denying their identity?
You can't see him standing behind
Somebody
the
needs to get him an
presidential
Apple
seal.
box.
He wants to know why ICE.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, Nadler and or any other Democratic politician. You keep asking the question, why? Why are they wearing masks? Would you like an answer? They don't want to be recognized because they don't want to put their family in danger because they're being doxxed. Okay? There's your answer.
Yeah.
Did you ask anybody?
Because-
why don't you ask them why they're doing it? If you'd like an answer, ask them.
Because
and then
people
they'll
like
tell you what
him-
I just said. And then you'll have your answer.
They have people like Nadler and Ilhan Omar out there being like, this is John Doe, and he lives at 111 Main Street, and his children go to school here. It
Right.
happens all the time.
Yes, that's why they're wearing masks.
The people
Hopefully-
like him who are not forthcoming with, yes, that's obviously the answer. They're relying on an uninformed electorate.
Yes.
They think, oh, they're doing bad things because they are masked.
He doesn't.
But during COVID, if you're masked, or even now if you're
Hero.
at Ralph's and you're masked, you're a shiro. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, we can say adios because he's going to retire.
Oh, good.
And I hope that he, unlike Joe Biden, actually goes and has a good retirement. That'd be nice. He's 78 years old.
Well, he can eat a lot of ice cream.
He can go.
Maybe they'll hit him with an indictment on his way out.
Ice
Trump
cream.
might.
Joe Biden. Ice cream is smart for Joe Biden because in the world of politics, you can't really just go, I'm a huge Steelers fan, because then you'll alienate all the Baltimore Ravens fans out there. And you can't really do it with lots of stuff, because then every time you go, this is my favorite. If you go, listen, I love The Who, Rolling Stones can suck a dick, then you'll piss off a lot of people. But when you go, I love ice cream, everyone just goes, that's my guy.
The other thing is ice
Everyone
cream.
loves ice cream.
But what
Ice cream's-
flavor?
It serves as kind of a smokescreen in interviews because
Yeah.
seriously, how do you actually interview somebody who is eating an ice cream cone?
You can't.
You
Yeah.
can't because
No.
there's an urgency to the ice cream cone. They're licking. They got it in their mouth. They can't.
They can't.
It's like
By the way,
someone-
female candidates,
I
just
think
don't
there's
ever-
more to
don't ever be
Biden
caught on
and
camera
ice
with an
cream
ice
than
cream
he
cone.
just likes it because isn't his favorite flavor vanilla?
Yeah.
No.
He can.
That
he
does
can,
not exist.
He can also claim brain freeze if he ever
Right.
has a
Right.
question he can't
Right.
answer on the
It's
ice cream.
perfect.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Nadler's
Nadler's
good,
retiring.
gone, fine.
And apparently it's because he's not progressive enough. The Democrats are going to be running a 26-year-old, young gun against him.
Yeah.
And so he was like, peace, I'm out in 2026.
Good luck.
Good luck.
luck with all that.
So I can't
shit.
pronounce any names in this upcoming story. I apologize in advance.
Uh-huh.
But did you see this insane video that went viral over the weekend at the U.S. Open?
I don't. Oh, the tennis?
Yep. We have the video here for your live reaction.
This popped in my head. We'll look at the vid, but I'm going to ask Andrew to look for this. It popped in my head. And I'm looking at Dawson, too. Remember, I kept saying that minivan that slammed into that semi-truck, they didn't put the brakes on? What was going on with that minivan? Who's driving that minivan? And it was a Florida, and it was a minivan. So we just assumed 3 white guy Floridians and someone was texting, and the 3 people were from Haiti.
It was definitely part of distracted drive. They were from Haiti?
They're all 3 Haitian.
Wow.
And the guy was driving, had been here for 2 years. And last I checked, they don't do probably a lot of high-speed driving in Haiti, right? And And you can look it up. But there's definitely, I kept saying, what's wrong with the driver? Like, why didn't the driver hit the brake? We did 20 minutes on. That minivan just slammed. You didn't see it lean forward.
Yeah.
Not a puff of smoke came out of the front tire. You know, it wasn't a lock it up. It was just, it looked like the minivan was traveling 55 down the highway and was traveling 55 when it hit the truck. Like it didn't swerve. It didn't anything. And I kept going, what's wrong with those drivers? You can look it up, but it was a weird article that somebody tweeted me that all three of the people were Haitian. And again,
that brings up a good question. So my niece is almost 16. She's has her permit. She's driving all these places. She just drove cross country with her grandparents and is practicing and has to have so many hours behind the wheel of a car before she can officially get her license when she turns 16 in December. When we have people immigrate from other countries, maybe we should do a better job at implementing a permit type system, because it is very different. It shocks me. I'm going to Spain next week and I'm like, I'm not going to drive in Spain. I can't read all the signs and I don't know what side of the road they're on and all that stuff. To take someone who immigrated here and just expect that they know how to do a thing with all of the Americanisms the 4-lane highways and toll roads and all this stuff. It's not fair to them or us to just let them go.
Well, Haiti's probably it's the poorest place in the hemisphere. I mean, it's the poorest place. I'd say not a lot of car ownership, I would probably say. And probably not a lot of guys, not a lot of people own Corvettes there. It's not a lot of spirited driving going on. They don't have a history in NASCAR or road racing or something.
They also don't have 100 miles of an interstate that just goes straight.
They don't have driver's ed either.
They don't. Yeah, so they don't.
That's sad.
They don't have anything for driving over there. So I'm saying this guy was not used to going down the interstate at 60 miles an hour. Is what I'm saying in Haiti. So when it comes to when I kept saying what was wrong with that driver, now the thing about people that are bad drivers or that happens, oh God, I hate these people, but they panic. I just saw footage of a guy backing a pickup truck off a pier because it was a kid backing it up, and he just he panicked and punched the accelerator, and the car just went into the bay. I've been with people that they panic and they go, they stomp on the accelerator, they can't process it.
But
or
this
whatever.
driver didn't do any of those things.
Well, he could have panicked and froze, or whatever he did. He didn't react, but because he probably didn't do a lot of driving for the 25 years he was in Haiti, and then he came here for 2 years and did probably limited driving, and then they gave him this minivan, and he didn't react like someone would react. That's all I'm putting. I don't know how much driving goes. What percentage of people own a car in Haiti? That's all I'm saying. All right, so this guy,
he's the CEO of a publicly traded company, by the way, called Drugbruck. It's like a paving company.
I like this guy.
I'm not going to. Andrew said just say it fast. Piotr Szczerek. So you've seen this video, right? Should we play it for the audience?
He's the Polish guy.
Yeah.
Who?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. They're at the U.S. Open. Someone's handing out the guy
that just won. I also can't say his name.
Hands his hat out.
Hands is signing things, handing things out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he hands it to the kid, and then the guy steals it
and puts it in his wife's bag.
Puts it in his wife's bag.
She's there videoing the whole thing.
And now
I'm assuming it's his wife.
Yeah, let's hope we don't have another Coldplay situation. that would be funny if that was
if this was a double whammy.
Yeah.
It's jerk and look, the kid actually, if you watch I watched a minute-long clip, that kid followed him.
Oh, really?
That kid had some tenacity because he followed him for a little bit and was like, hey, man, hey. He's talking to him and he's like, hey, he took the hat from me.
Right.
You can read his lips and that's what he's saying to him.
Right.
And that lady's just there smiling and grinning. He got the hat and he stuck it in the bag.
Right. So here's how we work, and this is how we should all work. I told everyone last week or the week before that when somebody parks, I had a woman park in the middle of my driveway at my place where I couldn't get on either side. And then the next time she parked across and blocked it, right? Now, I go nuts. And then everyone goes, so what? It's just a car. Just go move the car. And I go, no, it's a window into who the person really
100%.
is. It's who they are. Because it's 10 cents worth a hat. Who cares? Oh, no. It's a window to who that guy is. As a human being, this is why we react so strongly to this. We don't care about the kid. By the way, the kids at the U.S. Open or the whatever Open, when I was 8, there was no tennis. I wasn't hanging out at a tennis tournament.
Like down close enough to touch a
Yes, that
winner.
kid is rich. Yeah. That kid is doing better than every kid you grew up with, including yourself. There's no
better than my kids.
There's me going to my dad. Hey, Dad, I think we should head down to Flushing Meadows this weekend. He'd be like, "What the fuck are you? Are you kidding? By the way, we're not going to." We wouldn't go to Knott's Berry Farm on your birthday. Are you kidding me? We're not going to attend. So that kid is fine. It's not the hat.
Uh-huh.
Everyone in this picture is doing great. All rich white people are at a tennis thing. Everyone's doing fine. It's not that. It's a window into who this person is.
So
that's why we react this way.
But here's my 2 cents, because I had the exact same thought as you, so we're on the same wavelength there. But this guy is the CEO of a publicly traded company. He has the fiduciary responsibility to do whatever it takes within legal bounds to make his stockholders and his board and all of his employees and everything the most money possible. So he is probably like this at his job, in his personal life, all that stuff, 99.9% of the time. And people are cheering him on because he's making a moolah. But then when it is public and in a situation like this, I almost don't think it's fair to criticize him for his assholism showing when he's probably like that all the time and he tends to get cheered on for it.
Good point.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, we do that. It's funny. With Michael Jordan, they just go, oh, Michael Jordan, man. It wasn't just basketball. You play dominoes with that guy. He'll try anything to beat you. He'll try anything. And everyone goes, oh, that's who he is.
Yeah, it's who he is. And this guy, you can tell it's who he is based on his apology. If your kids gave you this apology, if my kids gave me this apology, I just massively eye roll. He said that he was like overcome because it was a fellow Polish dude that like won a game. I guess he beat out a Russian.
It's like he was at a Tony concert
and felt the spirit.
So he said, quote, I would like to unequivocally apologize to the boy who was harmed, his family, as well as all the fans and the player himself. I made a serious mistake. In the emotions and the crowd's joy after the victory, I was convinced that the tennis player was handing the cap in my direction for my sons who had earlier asked for autographs. It is a painful but necessary lesson for me. He went on to say that for years, together with my wife, I've been involved in helping children and young athletes, but this situation showed me that one moment of carelessness can undo years of work and support.
Yeah, right.
He's a millionaire, by the way, just like Ilhan Omar. And he said, therefore, I will engage more actively in initiatives supporting children and youth, as well as actions against violence and hate. Like, why does everything have to be like DEI and like, you know,
gotta stop hate.
I believe that only through deeds can I rebuild this lost trust.
He looks like a Bond villain, but in the made-for-TV movie.
Like the cheaper version.
Yeah. All right. Do we put the Michael Moore thing on your things to do list then?
By the way, 1% of the Haitian population owns cars.
Right.
And I imagine that several people own several cars.
Guys,
right. So
there are 11 cars for every 1,000 people in Haiti.
This guy did not grow up driving.
No.
And he certainly don't have an interstate system over there. So he's going on a run to Indiana or whatever.
If we're not doing something.
And my repeated speculation over and over when everyone was going, what's wrong with this long haul trucker? I was like, yes. And what's wrong with the guy who never applied the brakes?
Yeah.
Something's wrong with that person. And everyone went, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, black guy. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Victims of Florida Turnpike crash were Haitian immigrants headed to Indiana. Yeah.
That's sad. I mean, it's all sad. It's sad.
It's all sad, but now you're in some weird zone because the dude in the semi-truck who pulled a U-turn, that was a careless move. But there's a world where this guy applies the brakes, tells him to F off in Haitian, and then drives to Indiana, and we never heard about this, right?
Yeah.
Now, this guy's up for triple homicide or triple manslaughter or whatever. And at some point, you got to go, look, I pulled a bad move. But the dude driving the minivan doesn't know how to drive, and that definitely was a factor here.
But I think they'll focus on the if not for argument, if not for him being in this country.
They will focus on that, but as I talked to Mark Garagos about, if you're defending this guy...
That's what you say.
You're defending the truck driver, you are going to get into this guy... not having a driver's license in Haiti and then coming here.
So when you went to your prom in Haiti, did you guys take a limo or did you drive your date?
We took a donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then how stupid and easy it is to get a driver's license here, probably.
That's what I'm saying. It's like American kids have to go through so many hours and so much testing between a permit and a license, but an immigrant can come here and just...
Did he even have a driver's license here? You know what I mean? He had a visa, like a work visa or something.
Right.
Okay.
He had a permit to work. One of them had a permit to work. They don't know. They're not releasing the information on the other two yet.
DMV employees are depressed and sad anyway. Stick them in a car with immigrants and be like, hey, before we give you a temporary license, could you drive around the block?
Yeah, this is your test drive, bitch.
Can you go out on the 10 and figure out?
It would be interesting, Andrew, for your to-do list in your Michael Moore clip is to find out that this guy even have a driver's license, or do you get some sort of temporary whatever? Yeah, when I got my motorcycle license, when I got pulled over and they towed my motorcycle and I had to go get the motorcycle and all that kind of stuff, they go, you need to have a motorcycle license to go get your motorcycle out of the impound yard. And I go, well, how do I get a motorcycle license? I can't do the test because I don't have my motorcycle. It's on the impound yard. And they go, oh, we give you a temporary thing, which means as far as they're concerned, I still don't know how to ride a motorcycle, but here's your piece of paper to go get it from the impound lot, and then you can drive it again.
Maybe what we're discovering is our system is just screwed, and we need to reinforce all of it.
It's a good point. All right.
I do think maybe even people like over 70 should have to take a test more often.
Jerry Nadler. All right. Let's see. Joe Ford and Stayton Bonner wrote a book, The $1 million car detective inside the world, a hunt for the stolen $7 million car. I got lots of car stuff to talk to them about as well. We'll do that right after this. Shopify. Starting a business, man. Not easy today. Keeps people up at night. Shopify. You need these people. The number one commerce platform. Millions of businesses around the world. And, by the way, 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names by Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that'll match your style. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. It's Shopify, right, Dawson?
Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Carolla, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Carolla to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/Carolla.
Morgan & Morgan. Oh, let's get real for a minute. Everyone talks about summer being sunshine and backyard barbecues. But you know, as well as I do, summer is also prime time for accidents. Every slip by the pool. Oh, maybe you got rear-ended on the way to the beach. You're heading to the beach. Somebody just didn't see those brake lights. Well, that's why you need to know about Morgan & Morgan. You see these guys everywhere. You see their commercials everywhere. Spoke to these guys. There's a reason why they're everywhere. They do a lot of business. They brought in more than $25 billion with a B. That's billion with a B for clients just like you. I'm talking real stories. One guy, he got offered $500,000 for his injury from the insurance. Ended up with $29 million thanks to Morgan & Morgan. That's why they're America's largest injury law firm. Right, Dawson?
Hiring the wrong firm could be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. With Morgan & Morgan, it's easy to get started, and their fee is free unless they win. Just visit forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. That's forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. This is a paid advertisement. It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam, John from North Carolina, long-time listener. Dozens of years. You always said, buy a warehouse. You'll find out what to do with it. That's what I did. Everybody asked me, what are you going to do with it? I have no idea. I'll figure it out. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Joe Ford and Stayton Bonner are both in. They got a book out. It's The $1 Million Car Detective Inside the Worldwide Hunt for a Stolen $7 Million Car. It's a 1938 Talbot Lago, am I right?
Yes, sir.
And it was it's not my era per se, but there was a kind of Frenchy, kind of Art Deco-y car era, 30s kind of thing, very expensive cars in there, and then stuff would go missing because of World War II as well. Lots of stories about people hiding cars, trying not to, Germany's advancing. You got a one-of-a-kind car in your barn, and you got to hide it because the Nazis are going to plunder it, right? How much of that was this, or what was the story of this car?
Yeah, that's part of it. I go into World War II and actually the theft of cars by soldiers during that time. But in my 20 years of journalism, this was the most amazing story I'd ever come across. It was like White Lotus meets Fast and Furious meets James Bond. In 2001, in the middle of the night, 3 thieves broke into the private garage of a Milwaukee industrialist and stole this 1938 Talbot Lago worth $7 million. Absconded in the night. For years, it was gone.
You say that was 01?
01, yes, sir.
01, so in modern times.
That's right, but it was all in pieces, and these guys had to take it out with an overhead crane. They knew exactly where all the paperwork was. As you point out, it's hard to prove the provenance, as you know, with a lot of these vehicles. So they knew everything about it. It was a famous car. I interviewed your friend Jay Leno at Pebble Beach. He flew out to Milwaukee and almost purchased this car years before that, decided not to do it.
When it was in pieces.
When it was in pieces. And he looked at it and he told me it was kind of a widowed, the guy had made all this money in plastics, but his wife, his son had died. He was kind of a hermit, and he was just tinkering with this car. And as the value of it skyrocketed, these thieves found out about it, broke in, cut the alarm, took it. And then for years, the trail was cold until years later, a disgruntled mechanic in the French Alps reached out to Joe Ford here and said, I know where that car is. And Joe partnered with the heir to retrieve it. And that's what took me in to this world. As you know, Pebble Beach high-end cars, just like artwork, they're very valuable, and increasingly we're seeing more thefts around that. But there's no FBI team dedicated to retrieving rare cars like there are for artwork. So they call Joe here.
So, Joe, you specialize, a former attorney, right?
Correct.
PI now. This is your expertise, automobiles.
Right.
And I wonder, I've been always asking about where James Dean's wrecked car is for a long time, because that thing got stolen. Oh, God. J.J. Arms was the PI who was on that. That was the PI who had an action figure who was missing his hands. His arms. It sounds like I'm making this up. I'm not making this up. He had an action figure in the 70s, and that was try to think who owned that car. I'll think of it in a second. But there's that car, and I don't know if does that ever come onto your radar? Does anyone ever say James Dean's car?
I did once research that car, and I thought somebody revived it with the leftover parts of the chassis or something and tried to.
Yeah. So the thing is, the cars, and we'll get to this car. The car's a unibody car. It's a tub. It's a Porsche. It's a tub. It's not a frame. And so when a tub gets destroyed or gets mashed up, they'll pull the axles off. They'll pull the engine off. And they pulled the transaxle off and stuff and sold it, like, separately. But it's never the car, because the car's the tub with the serial number on it, so to speak.
Yep.
And that car, George Barris, the famous customizer, owned. The guy who built the Monkey's car and the Munstermobile and all that stuff. That guy owned that car, and it got stolen in the 60s out of Florida, and they've never found it. But this car, the Talbot Lago.
The Talbot Lago actually spent a lot of time in Los Angeles. It was imported by Luigi Canetti out of Connecticut, sold to Tommy Lee out of Hollywood. He had a stable of fantastic cars.
Luigi Canetti won Le Mans, like the 50s. Ferrari, the old man, said, go to North America and start selling Ferraris. That's where he started NART, North America Racing Team. And Luigi Canetti was the first guy who had the Ferrari dealerships and race team in the United States.
Yeah, and he sold it to Dorsey, who was a playboy. His father had all these car dealerships, actually owned the mountain that the Hollywood sign is on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this guy just raced cars out in the desert flats, just living this total playboy life. Had a wreck, tragically killed himself, jumped off the 12-story building, and his cars then went on the auction block. And Joe, they went to, at that point, that's when they got to Milwaukee.
Yeah, it went to the Midwest. But Tommy Lee actually had 3 teardrops.
Mm-hmm.
This was 90108. He also had 90105. And he also had 90107.
And I mean, the thing about cars is, exclusive cars are always expensive, but you don't really know. For instance, Luigi Canetti probably had a lot of people at the time trade in some Ferrari that would be worth millions of dollars now to get a new Dino Ferrari or something in 1970 or Daytona, which are still worth something today. But the car they traded in is worth $14 million. The car they got is worth $400,000 right now, right?
And Joe can tell you his history in hunting these vehicles. But to your point, Adam, you're exactly right. I interviewed a lot of experts, FBI, car restoration people. These things were husks of junk for decades. Like, it could have won, it could have been in all these storied races, and it was just a burned out shell. Interestingly, Ralph Lauren was one of the first guys to popularize the restoration of this. He grew up in the Bronx from nothing. He was into cars. Once Polo took off, he's like, man, I want to start collecting cars and restoring them. And that led to this Pebble Beach Best in Show. I mean, all those things were happening, but it's grown. It's one of the fastest rising asset classes, the meticulous restoration. I went to restoration shops. These guys are tattooed using 100-year-old tools to meticulously, restore these cars with parts that are original, right? And like stuffing chairs with horsehair. It's a pretty fascinating, meticulous world, and it's a place for billionaires can compete with these things. And sometimes, corners are cut in trying to find the best show to, beat your peers.
Yeah, and also the idea of sinking $400,000 into restoring a car that might not be worth $400,000 once you've restored it years ago didn't seem like a good plan. But if the car is going to be worth several $1 million now, then that's a smart investment. And that's kind of where we're going now.
Yeah. I mean, Joe, tell them what this car's estimated value is now. $7 million when it was stolen.
When it was stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because 7 feels a little light for it today.
Say $1 million back in 2001, sold for $7 million to a wealthy doctor from Illinois turns out to be the thief out of Switzerland.
So wait, say that again. It sold for $7 million back in 2001?
In 2015, it sold.
2015.
And now it's closer to 12 to 14 million. In fact, my appraiser is Donald Osborne.
Oh, sure, from Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Oh, I like when he sings.
It was stolen in 2001 and then disappeared for years. Joe gets a call years later from a mechanic who was doing work for the alleged thief. It says, I know where this car is if you want to come find it. Joe then partnered with the heir to the vehicle. The original guy had died. And they spent years tracking it down, and it turns out that a wealthy dental magnate out of Ohio originally had purchased the vehicle with allegedly forged paperwork. And when he tried to register it in the United States from Switzerland, it popped up as being stolen, and that kicked off a whole legal battle, which is still ongoing around this car. but that's part of
That's
what
who
Joe's
owns
been,
it.
That's who owns it. Yeah.
Where's Talbot Lago out of? Are they French?
It's originally French, and then part of it moved to the UK, Dirac. And then they quit production.
Yeah, they're defunct.
Yep.
And there are certain car companies that were around and then went away, but they still have some IP. And then they came back later on and gave it another go, and that's happens with a lot. But Talbot Lago never came back.
No, not Talbot Lago, but there are some people trying to revive Fagone, because this is a custom body by a couple of Italian craftsmen working out of Paris in the 38. The wealthy would order their chassis and motor from the factory, send it to these guys in Paris, and they'd get haute couture, built a custom body.
Yes, that was popular. People do it with Duesenbergs, I think, as well. You'd buy the frame and the engine and all the running gear and everything, and then you'd have the body made by an artist.
Yes.
Zagato and stuff like that. And so there's some like Ferraris that are Zagato bodied and that kind of stuff. And so it makes them go from pretty rare to super rare, because you go from, there's 50 units to there's 2 units, or there's 1 unit and one-off kind of stuff, which then the price goes up.
There's about 16 of these bodies put on this particular type chassis. It was a very short racing chassis with holes punched in it to make it super lightweight with a racing motor. And then each one's subtly different. Like, one may have recessed headlights, one may not. One may have an oval radiator grille, one may not. One may have trim at the bottom of all the fenders, one may not. So subtle little differences, and they went straight to the Concours in 1938 in Paris. We've got pictures of this car in the 1938 Concours.
It's tough because there wasn't a lot of color pictures back then, and so it's really tough when you're looking at those black and whites trying to figure out what color something is. Yes.
But then we do forensic studies. Like, we were able to sand off the paint for certain parts, and you can track it back to the original build sheet from Fagone, who did the body and the interior. So this car actually had its original leather interior, and it was painted maybe 3 times, but the original paint was still underneath.
Right.
It wasn't stripped. It was just cheaply painted.
Didn't get it down to the metal. Yeah, Jay could have had this car, but Jay's got that McLaren F1 from 93 or 94 that's worth $25 million. So
he's doing all right.
He'll be fine. We shouldn't cry for Jay Leno and his car purchasing.
But it was funny because I literally saw him at Pebble Beach. I was there reporting, and I called out, and he walked over, and he remembered exactly this car. And I think what's fascinating, for me at least, I didn't know much about this world before I got into it, just the world of high-end cars. And this goes into this underbelly. I mean, there are thefts, forgeries happening all the time. But what was particularly interesting around this, too, was the alleged thief was a former friend and business associate of Joe. They came up together in New Orleans, importing gray market cars, working in the rare car business, import-export. And then one ended up in Switzerland being hunted by the FBI and Interpol. And Joe was conscripted to help the FBI. And I interviewed all the authorities and local authorities to go try to get to the bottom of this case. So it was this amazing story of best friends turned worst enemies that really took it to another level. And I interviewed the alleged thief for 5 hours and include both their stories going back and forth throughout. It's pretty
Did he have a story other than he stole a car?
Totally denied it. I mean, it got to ultimately all charges against him were dropped. A key witness in the case died of old age, and it was all dropped, and he is now a free man. So it was at that point, after being held, he was first taken by authorities in Switzerland, extradited, held in federal prison in Wisconsin for a couple of years. And then ultimately, when charges were dropped, he was released. And at that point, he sat with me and his lawyers for a couple of interviews, very long. And I really got his side of the story as well, which he denies everything.
Yeah. Well, Joe, you believe he did it, I'm assuming.
I've seen the evidence. We're actually going for summary judgment on the fact that the car was stolen. Ownership resides with the original theft victim, and that should be decided this September 17th. After almost 8 years of litigation, I think we're about to have closure.
Yeah, it's an interesting world. I mean, I just got back from Pebble Beach and walked the beach and saw everybody with their cars and how meticulous they are and the stories behind them. And yeah, it's if you hang around long enough, you'll see cars going for millions and millions of dollars. I mean, I don't know. They had a Ferrari, maybe California Spider, something, 23 million maybe at the shop. But they even had a NART, back to Luigi Canetti's North America racing team, Daytona. Daytona's a production car, but this thing was the race version of that Daytona. One for like $8.2 million. And it's it's not one off. It's a racing version of a production car. From Ferrari that had it didn't win Le Mans, it just ran Le Mans a couple of times. I don't think it finished. You have to, by the way, if you're reading about cars, you have to read between the lines at the auctions because they'll go participated in 1979. That means didn't finish. Okay. If it came in first in its class, it will say first in its class, and if it finished Le Mans, it'll go successfully finished Le Mans. Or if it came in 7th overall or something, it'll say, if it just said participated or ran at Le Mans, it means it broke probably early and dropped out. But that car got $8 million plus bucks, which is pretty nuts.
That's a record too. Yep.
Oh yeah, that Daytona's a record. Yeah, that's way into the record. Yeah, I made this would be a perfect time to play it, but Andrew, you can find Grand Theft Submarine. I mean, this was all laid out by me and my crystal brain more than 20 years ago when I was on the radio. This is like 25 years ago. I went to Pebble Beach and I came back. Now, it's interesting. I was there 2 weeks ago. They now have security. Like, they have dogs and dudes with guns, and you see them walking around. I guess it's everywhere now because of terrorists, whatever. 25 years ago, there wasn't a couple of rental cops and, windbreakers, like mall cops, just kind of putzing around telling people you can't eat that here, that don't touch the car, kid. But there's no real security. And the way where the place was located, it would probably take a while for real SWAT team or something to get out there. I figured out, I'll play this. You tell me, Joe, it could just, this could be realistically if this could happen or not. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road, everyone. O'Reilly Auto Parts offers friendly, helpful service and the parts, knowledge, and experience that you need to maintain and repair your vehicle. Always go to O'Reilly. They're all over the place out here. I don't know if there's one on every corner where you're from, but out here, I got my pick of the litter. Always use it to prep the race car. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, they are friendly. So it's easy. You can just stop by on O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us online at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
This September, CBS hits are streaming free on Pluto TV.
I'm coming in.
For this month only, stream full episodes of Matlock.
I'm a lawyer, like the old TV show.
Fire Country, Elsbeth.
I do love a mystery.
NCIS Origins, Watson, and Ghosts.
What the hell?
This is the most amazing sight I've never seen.
All for free. The CBS shows you love, this month only on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
All right, Drew, here's my idea.
Yeah.
I'm on Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
I'm at the concourse today. There's, like I said, there's got to be $100 million worth of cars out there.
Maybe
25
more. Years ago.
Submarine surfaces right in the bay. It's an old Soviet nuclear class submarine that's been bought cheaply on the black market, commandeered. They've removed all the torpedoes and stuff and all the missiles and everything, but it can hold like 22 cars now.
Perfect.
First guy.
The front cone opens up.
Cone opens. You know, and it got that guy with the crazy accent. He's good looking. He has long hair. You know, they take the 50 millimeter, start spraying all the gentry. People dress in period garb, bottles of Cristal. Sometimes they do dress that way.
That should make it look like fat rich guys.
Fat rich guys, whitey, sprayed, champagne going everywhere, and he does that thing where he goes, "I hope I've got your attention now." You know, he's very understated and everything. All right, my guy. Could be me, could be Steven Seagal or something. This he's been drummed out of the service. Not because he didn't get the job done, because he punched out a superior officer when he left some men behind. He had good men that he left behind.
He was framed for a crime he didn't commit.
Right. Drummed out of the military. This guy was SEALs and Green Beret and Special Forces. Now he's dressed in a old 20s kind of chauffeur outfit. And he's been demoted to just dusting like a Bentley. You know, he's got the dust thing on there. He's saying, but he sees what's going on. And these guys take these multi-million-dollar cars and they start loading them onto the thing. They take him to foreign markets.
What motivates him is a bullet hits one of his favorite cars. You've seen foreboding in the
Now he's done it.
Now you've done it.
See his reflection in the cracked rearview mirror.
Yes.
Very symbolic.
This car means something.
Stows away in the car as they load them onto the submarine. Yeah, now it's out there. He's on the sub, stowed away in a Duesenberg. Yeah. And they're going to some Arab country to sell him to like a Sultan of Brunei or something.
Nice.
Yeah. He's in the trunk. Oh, yeah. Oh. Action ensues. It's very exciting.
Yeah, action movie, right?
I love it.
I'd watch that movie.
Yeah, I'm geared up now.
Where would you go with a car that was stolen these days? Like people go, well, where's James Dean's Porsche? I go, I don't know, 20 stories underground in the desert somewhere in the Middle East, like some OPEC guy's bunker somewhere. It's hard to do in the more, Western world, I guess. Yeah. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Of course, the provenance would end once they were taken, and ownership would never change. However, it could be squirreled away until somebody just has to sell it. When
you got to assume there's like Monets and Fabergé eggs and stuff in these guys' trophy rooms, right?
Yep.
I mean, I detail a range of different stories about stolen cars, including the most famous stolen car, the 1965 Aston Martin DB5 from the film Goldfinger, which was taken. My book includes a new potential theory on it. It's actually the ending, the epilogue, but basically was stolen in the middle of the night from a small airport in the Boca Raton area, had been owned by a real estate developer. And that car has been looked for decades. Joe has a potential theory about it. I also interviewed another specialist from Venice who says he has found proof he thinks it was stolen, taken to the Middle East. It's sitting in a warehouse somewhere along with dozens and rows of other cars that'll never see the light of the day. But Joe's been offered to try to find cases in Russia.
What's the DB5 worth, you think?
The DB5, I mean, that's a good question. There's estimates like 10, 15. It just depends. But, I mean, all of these cars that are unique, and obviously there's such a cultural cachet with that one as well. And it was the stunt car, actually. So it had all the weapons and stuff on it. There were two different Aston Martins from
right.
the
They
film.
have the hero car and the whatever car.
Yeah, but it's like, Joe, why don't you tell them the story of Cyclops? I mean, sometimes Joe, what's fascinating to this is like it's old school detective sleuthing. There's nothing digital about this. Joe has every issue of Road and Track magazine in existence. He goes to Europe and looks up old racing stubs. None of this stuff was documented, so it's all analog and it's all buried. And sometimes you run across unsavory figures doing that.
So, by the way, the Goldfinger car, I mean, if someone just takes it as a trophy and never tries to sell it again, it makes it difficult, right? Because if you just keep it and you never try to fence it. I mean, if you stole diamonds and you never tried to fence them, then it'd be hard to catch you, right?
The expression is that it stays in the closet. You got to wait till it comes out the closet, and usually that means somebody died, the heirs inherit it, and then they try to sell it, and they say, oh, shit, Dad's got a stolen car.
Right. So, anyway, I'm sorry, Cyclops.
That was this French mechanic had a bunch of valuable parts that happened to belong to the guy we now know as the thief, and that guy sent some Czechoslovakian muscle in order to collect his parts out of France. And one of the guys was like a one-eyed guy, a big goon, and his nickname was Cyclops. And I remember the French mechanic telling me, oh, but they showed up at my shop, they take everything, and this guy Cyclops, he threatened me. It was so funny. It's real life like a movie.
They stole a bunch of 917 motors, too. You guys may be aware of this. Porsche 917, one Le Mans, Steve McQueen, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Those lumps, I think they're flat 12s. And they're so great. I mean, they're worth over $100,000 each, just the engine, and they had them in crates, and those things got stolen a while back.
This car, the Talbot Lago, its engine was taken from the car again out of spite, and it was the mechanic tried to sell it on the black market.
Yep.
FBI actually hired Joe to wear a wire to go into a shop where it was trying to be sold. Joe, you want to tell that story? And it's worth $2 million, by the way.
The engine.
Yeah.
The original engine, the guy never paid his bill to get it rebuilt in France. So the French mechanic went and repossessed it and held it.
Is it a straight six?
Yes, inline
straight
six.
Eight. Oh, straight six.
Triple carburetor.
I know a lot.
Racing oil pan, lightweight, special sleeves that screw into the block. Really neat.
No dry sump system, probably, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So anyway, the engine was offered for sale for $600,000, $650,000. Nobody would bite, but I wanted to investigate, so I agreed to wear a wire to go to this shop in Wisconsin, South Wisconsin, that happened to be trying to sell it on behalf of the French guy. And they kind of figured it out, and they said, oh, it's sold, it's gone, it's sold to somebody in France, it's now in a race car. Turns out it wasn't, but somehow the FBI bird-dogged it and actually recovered the engine from the French mechanic. He ended up coughing up all the parts to the engine.
So the engine has been reunited with the chassis?
No, the engine is sitting in an FBI evidence room.
Oh.
But a correct period engine is presently in the car.
But it's not a numbers matching block that would have been with the car when created.
Correct.
Right. So people are curious about how it works. One time, Penn Jillette said, I was talking to him about this. He goes, if you say you got Houdini's wand, but the tip has been replaced and the shaft has been replaced and the butt has been replaced, then when has it ceased to become Houdini's wand?
Yeah, right.
And I said, well, that's a good question because I have race cars and they replace engines blow up and parts get crashed and they replace fenders and stuff gets replaced. I sort of said to him, well, it's Houdini's wand until someone else says they have Houdini's wand, and that's not Houdini's wand. If it's you own it and no one's arguing with you that it is Houdini's wand, then it's not as good as one that's completely unmolested, but it's more about people saying, no, I own Houdini's wand, because there can be some of that too. And I guess there was a big problem with art forgery, and maybe still is, but that was a big deal. And I guess automobile forgery is a thing now, and they can build, they used to build kit cars, and they had a VW chassis on them. Now they do these really nice recreations, and you got to pay like $300,000 for the nice recreation, but the original's $10 million, so there you go. But it seems like they could keep going now and actually make fakes, right?
They can, but typically if you drill down, literally like the FBI did, they actually drilled the chassis of this car to determine the shavings and then compare the shavings to other known unmolested teardrops, and there was a match. So they got it down to a molecular level match that this chassis is the real McCoy.
Right. You wouldn't, if it was a modern day steel chassis,
That's right.
that wouldn't present the same way to a metallurgist.
That's right.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. And I don't know if you guys know the story. It's something I've always thought about with the Cobra Daytona that Phil Spector had. You know that one? Mm-hmm. It's like the craziest story. You know, I know Pete Brock. Pete Brock made that Daytona at Shelby's shop. Still around. Just saw him at Pebble 2 weeks ago. He built the car. The car won the manufacturer's championship for America in, I don't know, 67 or something. And then it went to the Salt Flats and set a bunch of records there. And then it came back here, and Carroll Shelby tried to sell it to everyone in his shop for like $4,000, and nobody wanted it. And then some guy who owned slot cars, those kind of big slot car tracks I used to go to back in the day, fun. He bought it for like, I don't know, $2,500 or $3,000, and he had it for a couple of years, and then he sold it to Phil Spector. And then Phil Spector paid like $5,000 for it and drove it around and got a bunch of tickets. And it's a race car essentially that is technically you could drive on the street. You know, had turn signals, but too hot, too loud. He got into trouble. He gave it to his bodyguard essentially, and his bodyguard died and gave it to his daughter. And then it just stayed in a garage for years and years and years. And it's probably worth 25 million bucks now, but people started to figure out where it was and started coming around, and she wouldn't let him see it, wouldn't sell it, wouldn't do anything with it.
Yep.
And eventually she finally sold it for a few $1 million. And that day went out on a hike, poured gasoline all over herself and lit herself on fire. Do you know that part of it?
I did not.
That's the crazy part. She was this woman who didn't make much money, just like worked at a postal place or something, and our leader or something. She lived out in this area and didn't make any big bucks, and had this car worth millions of dollars just in the garage of her crappy little house. Never let anyone see it, never sold it. Eventually sold it to Dr. Simeon, who passed recently in Philadelphia. Had a big collection out there. I don't know if you've ever been to the Simeon Museum. Lots of race cars, lots of Le Mans cars. She sold it, and she just took a hike with her dog and gasoline, and she just stopped in the middle of the trail. She just doused herself in gasoline, just set herself on fire.
Wow, that's terrible. I didn't know that.
It's kind of a crazy story, right?
All of these are crazy stories. I mean, there's another car Joe retrieved, which is a stolen $18 million Ferrari Spider. And,
California?
No, this was actually the former nuclear scientist who worked on it. You want to tell that story, Joe?
Yeah, a 1954 Ferrari 375 Plus, a factory racer in 54, competed in Le Mans, DNF, did not finish. Then sold to American privateers Jim Kimberly for the Kleenex tissue fortune. He raced it for a few years, sold it to a Howard Hively, and he raced it for a year or two more. And I think the last race was a Cuba Grand Prix in 57. And he sold it to a Cincinnati guy who then just squirreled it away in his yard with 300 other cars.
But it's the same kind of thing, Adam, because he became really focused on his cars. And he was a former Los Alamos nuclear scientist who had helped develop basically the flight for the atomic bomb that was dropped in Japan to try to slow its ascent and like let the pilots get away faster. But he was haunted by his involvement in the atomic bomb. And he became this crazy kind of eccentric kook surrounded by a graveyard of old cars. And he would make his own cars out of crazy different parts. And I found all these old newspaper stories by the guy. I interviewed people who had known him. And then, of course, there was this one Ferrari that the word got out, especially after Ferrari himself died. These cars started really skyrocketing in value. And these guys out of Georgia hatched a plan to go up there. One of them had seen it as a kid and steal it. And they did, and exported it under false paperwork to Belgium, where it was purchased by a Ferrari racing legend himself. And but it set off this. Basically, the daughter says it almost killed the father, the theft of that car.
It was a mid-50s Spider race car, front engine, obviously.
Yeah.
Probably a V12, but it could have been a 4. V12. And
beautiful car.
Yeah, beautiful heyday Ferrari.
Yeah.
Stuff. Sort of looked like a Testarossa from back then.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Always makes me think about dads and what they leave their kids, because I got a Tony Bennett CD when my dad died, and that was about it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it because, and we're talking about Luigi Canetti, right?
Yeah.
I was at Pebble a couple weeks ago, and I was walking around the Ferrari lawn in front of the Pebble. I don't know, long story. They got an whole area of the Ferraris. And there was this 3-seater Ferrari that looked a lot like a Dino, but it's different. And it was built specially for Luigi Canetti. So Ferrari built this car as a thank you, I think, to Luigi Canetti, who came here to the United States and started selling Ferraris. And it looks like a Dino, but it's got 3 seats, 1 seat in the middle, kind of like a new McLaren, certain McLarens. And it had a Ferrari like race engine stuff, and it was a really cool piece. And if you squinted, it just looked like a Dino, but it was very interesting. And they made 2 of them. And Luigi Canetti got one of them, and then Luigi Canetti died. And then at some point, his son took it to auction, and this is about 10 years ago. And I think he wanted 25, maybe 28 million, and it stalled out at like 22.5 or something. And it was this great shot of Luigi Canetti's son looking a little disappointed and mostly pissed off. Like he gave a kind of like, God damn, what now? You know what I mean? Like, look, the humanity of it. And I thought, you son of a bitch. Your dad left you a $25 million Ferrari.
Yeah.
But it stalled out at 22.8. Yeah. And now your day has been ruined. I thought, could you please put something in perspective? I'll trade you that Tony Bennett CD my dad left me for that car. It's still out, and obviously somebody bought it or it's on the lawn. I don't know where it is. It's a really cool piece, but it's all the story.
Yep.
And you're kind of buying the car, but you're buying the story of the car.
100%.
And now with the teardrop, Talbot Lago, the fact that stolen, recovered, reunited with its engine, God willing at some point, I guess that's adding to the story. The value of the car, look, you know, a De Tomasa Pantera is worth, $100,000. But if it's the one that Elvis shot and it still has a bullet hole in the door, then that's worth $500,000 or whatever, $1 million.
Yep.
So it's the story you're buying. You're not.
There's the movie star quality that's building, but these cars, the teardrops especially, are now regarded as works of art.
Yes.
They're just so beautiful and so phenomenally unique and detailed and done by engineering artists. I mean, to build that body such that it survives a wind tunnel, you got to know your stuff.
But to the story of your point, yes, this car already had one of the most amazing stories of a car, just its Hollywood pedigree, being raced, owned by industrialists. And now it's involved with, one of the most spectacular heist stories of all time. It's also been, I'd press anyone to find a car that's been more vetted and investigated than this one. Whoever buys this ultimately, or whatever happens with it, every square inch, centimeter of this car has been analyzed. But the story of it in the $1 Million Car Detective, it was just fun. I mean, I wasn't a huge car guy before I got into this, but it's an amazing world. And just the story of Joe and his former friend finding themselves on opposite sides of the law in this global heist and caper. It's just a really fun to report and work on.
Well, I would say the book probably adds a little value to the car now as well. The book's available now as we speak, The $1 Million Car Detective Inside the Worldwide Hunt for a Stolen $7 million car. And again, a good story. You don't have to be a car person. You'd be a story person, right?
That's right. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks a bunch, Adam.
Thanks, Stayton. That was fun. I will be this weekend in Charlotte doing shows. Why shouldn't I work on the weekends at the Comedy Zone? And then El Paso the following weekend, and Albuquerque after that, and Flagstaff after that. Go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, it's Adam for Joe, and Stayton, and Elisha Krauss saying, mahalo.